Today we are going to learn about referencing. Now you would have your reference guide, so please refer to the reference guide in Curtin Library. Now if you don't know, let me show you right now. First of all, you go to Google and then you type Curtin Library Malaysia. Right, that is the first thing you type. Then you go to Curtin Library, and then after that you go to referencing. Okay, so when you click referencing, you could either use APA Chicago, but for engineering and commerce, you are using Chicago, while for media, you'll be using APA. So let's click on Chicago. So when we click on Chicago, okay, this will come up, Curtin University Chicago 17th B author date. Remember, we are using 17th B, not other editions, okay? Now we go down and we see this one, Chicago 17B referencing guide. So you just click on this and then you could print this out. Look at this, last updated February 2020. So if you have your brothers and sisters or senior passing you down their Chicago referencing guide, probably those are not updated already. So please use the latest one, okay? Or we can use sample reference list if you would like to see. This is another sample, okay, for your own reference. Now let's get started with the referencing. How do we do referencing? Now referencing, there are different resources that we could use. Now because you're using many articles to help to give evidence to your essay, the first type of article that we use is journal article. Now, what is journal article? Journal article means a piece of article that's written usually by researchers. They want to find out a specific issue. So we can see that, how do you know it's a journal article? How do you identify? First of all, they must have an abstract. Okay, an abstract. They must have a reference list. If you see an article with an abstract, 99.9% it is a journal article. Okay, and we have reference list, volume number, issue number, and page number. All right, now let's look at this. Now for this particular journal article, you can see that, hey miss, how come I don't see an abstract? Now this is the 0.01% where it doesn't have the abstract. However, you could see, okay, we have volume, and this is the page number. All right, now let's look at how do we cite it. Let's look at this. The title is The Anthropology of Infectious Disease. We have two authors here, Marcia and Peter. They're from department. So you can see they're academics, okay? They are working in a university. They are doing research on a specific topic. How do you know it's a research? Sometimes we can also identify by the choice of vocabulary they use. Usually the vocabulary is very academic. It's not simple and easy to be understood. All right, now moving on. This is how you cite from a journal article. First of all, the components are, it must have an author's surname. Start with the family name, followed by the first name, and then the year, and then the article title, the journal title, the volume number, the issue number, the page range, and the URL. Now this might seem very confusing, so let's do this slowly one by one. So you look at the examples here. We have Lane Rod, comma. So this means that this person's name is Rod Lane. Remember, family name always come first, and Simon Catling, 2016. Full stop, full stop. All these punctuation is super important, and we have open quotation marks, preserving primary teachers' depth and accuracy. So you can see P capital letters, primary capital letters, so capitalize each word except words like off and an. Tropical, cyclones, and then full stop, then you close. Okay, then we have journal or geography. You can see that this is italicized, and then this is the volume. This is the volume. So you can see this is the article title. This one is the journal title, and volume, issue, page number, full stop, and then we have the URL, full stop. Remember, all the punctuation is super important. Now let's look at this. First of all, we start with the surname, Marcia and Peter J. Brown. So we start with in Horn. Remember the surname will come first, comma, Marcia C. Dot. Now C dot, it doesn't mean that it's already ending. It's C dot, it just means that it's an initial. So and then after that, comma, and the second author is who? Peter J. Brown. Now the second author, you just follow accordingly. You do not have to put the surname in front. Full stop. That's it. Okay, so this is done. We are done with the names. The next one is the year. Okay, year is where? 1990. 1990. Full stop. Very good. Now moving on, article title. Remember, we have to put the quotation marks here. So quote, quotation mark. Article title, The Anthropology of Infectious Disease. So start with D, remember, capital letter. Anthropology of infectious disease. So you can see that I capitalize each word, full stop, then close. Capital, not need the capital of, capital, full stop. Okay, moving on. Now we move on to journal title. Now before you move on to the next line, you must know that you have to space between the first author. Space this. So here you don't write anything, and then you press tab, so you move it here. Start from here, the second line. Second line is what? Journal title. So what's the journal title? The journal title is Annual Rev Anthropology. Okay, here. So this is the journal title. Okay, let's check one more time. Annual Rev Anthropology. All right, you don't have to know what it means. You can just copy it down. Okay, so we have, now it's italicized, so use your computer. Annual.rev.anthropo. Is there a full stop there? There's no full stop there, so don't put a full stop. And then we follow by the volume number. The volume number is usually, okay, here, okay, we can see that this one, okay, let me give you a sample. This would be the page number. Okay, this will be the volume number. Usually the issue number will be in brackets. Now, since there's no brackets here, we just directly 19. You see there's a bracket, but we don't have a bracket here, so just relax, don't worry. Then colon 89 117. Is there a full stop here? Yes, there's a full stop after the page, so full stop. Full stop. Okay, and then after that, finally, the DOI or the URL. So just go back to the URL. This is the URL here. Okay, and just copy down the URL. So it's annual, whatever. And then after that, we have the full stop after the URL, full stop. So you can see that comma and the names. Okay, this is correct. Everything, the punctuation, you have to follow. So this is all correct. If you missed one, we're gonna deduct your marks, unfortunately. So this is how you do a journal. I know it looks a bit messy, but you just follow the convention, just follow the components. You will not, you'll not make mistake. Okay, don't worry about that. Now moving on to the next part is newspaper articles. Newspaper articles and magazine articles, they have the same way of citation. Okay, so just follow. Newspaper and magazines are the same. Now, BBC is obviously a news. If you're confused, like for example, you say, Miss, what about Times? What is that? What about US Weekly? Is that an article? Is that a newspaper? You're not confused. The first thing, how do you identify, is just to you can simply go to Wikipedia, make a quick check. Wikipedia will tell you. Wikipedia will say, this is a weekly magazine, or this is a weekly news. So use Wikipedia to quickly check which one are those, okay? So this newspaper article, we know that this is first of all, this is the title of the news. We have the dates here. We do not have the author here. Don't worry about it. Okay, so let's move on. Now the components are roughly the same. First of all, we must have the author's surname followed by big comma, the first name, the full stop, the year, the title of the article with the quotation mark. Always end the title with a full stop before the quotation. Newspaper and magazine title, comma, month, day, comma, year, full stop, and the URL, full stop. So just follow the convention. Okay, here we have Haberman, comma, Maggie, comma, and Peter Baker, full stop. You know, this is pretty standard like what we have discussed just now. And then New York Times, comma, date, month, year. This is pretty standard. Now, let's explore the possibility when an article does not have an author. All right, so let's look at this. Weekend edition Saturday. This one, there's no author here. So what happens? So Weekend edition Saturday, what is this? This is the name of the magazine. So let's look at this. So in the absence of the author, the news article, the news publisher itself is the main author. All right, so we can say BBC News, full stop. Okay, what about the year? The year is 2020. So 2020, full stop. Now we move on to what? We move on to the title of the article. What is the title of the article? Australia fire, PM admits mistake in handling of crisis. So also, remember, quotation mark, Australia fire, PM admits. Remember to capitalize each word, very important. Admits, okay, I'm not gonna write the whole thing. In handling of crisis, full stop, close the quotation. Okay, just follow. All you have to do is just to follow. And then after that, what do we have here? The month and the date and the year. What is the month? 12 January 2020. So it should be January 12, 2020. Full stop. And then after that, again, we move on to the next line. Remember to leave space here. Use your tab, leave a space here, start from here. And then what is the website's name? BBC, full stop. 100 marks for this. Very good. Well done. So you understand what I'm saying? Okay, just follow the convention. Another type of article that we usually use is website articles. Now, website and web page, they're very similar. Web page, when we say the word page, it means just one particular page. You see, this is a website. Why? Because we have about, scientific topics, education, publication, news. There's so many things going on in this particular website. So this is a site. Okay, a web page, and on the other hand, is only one. You scroll up, you scroll down, there's no other links for you to click. Okay, these are non-existent in the case of a web page. All right, it's just a page. Okay, now this is a website article. Let's look at how we cite. First of all, it's the owning organization, full stop, followed by the year, full stop, followed by the title of the website, full stop, followed by the URL. So this is pretty straightforward. Now let's look at the example, Government of Western Australia, ND. Now what does ND means? ND simply means no date. There's no date given. Okay, Perth Zoo, this is the title of the website, accessed. When was this accessed? When did you open this website? When do you start reading and clicking on this website? You need to record it, okay? And then finally, followed by the URL. So let's look at this, okay? So first of all, we need to know the owning organization. Owning organization, obviously you can see from the top left corner, Australian government. Okay, so what we need to do is to say Australian government. Okay, and full stop. Now let's check. Is there a date? There's no date. Usually the date will be in front. Now because there's no date, so you also put n.d. Okay. In every article, when you don't see a date, when you can't find a date, just put an n.d. Okay, no date. And then after that, followed by Perth Zoo. What is the title here? The title is Bushfire. So just write Bushfire. Full stop. Accessed. So access is depending on when did you access this. Access, let's say today is March 20th, 2020, full stop, followed by the website link. So just write that. So then again, space, then full stop. This is a complete and correct way of citing a website. Web page is similar, so you just look in the referencing guide on your own, okay? Now, another one that we usually use is books. Books, how do you know it's a book? If it's a PDF, it does not necessarily mean that it has to be a report or it has to be a journal. It doesn't really mean that. When you see books, you see that there is a publisher, okay? There is an author, and there's editions, okay? That's how we know that it's a book. And you can find that in books, there are a lot of talking about what about the publisher, okay? How many editions there is, okay? Title, all these little things printed in the United States, all these small signs are an indication that this is a book. Now let's look at how do we cite it. Author surname, first name, this is pretty standard. Year, book title, edition, place of publication, publisher, and the URL. Okay, so this is the same thing again and again. There are 3 authors here. 1, 2, 3. Year. This one, title, you should italics. 4th edition, Milton Park, New South Wales. So this is the place. Where is it published? This is the publisher. Okay, and then we have the URL. So let's look at this one. Who are the authors? Okay, we have only one author here, so it's Wright, comma, William F. Dot. Okay, now you don't have to dot again because there's only one. You don't have to dot. It doesn't make sense. So just directly go into the year. What is the year? Let's look at the year. The year is 2018. Okay, so we have to go and find 2018 full stop. And then after that, we have the title, which is Essentials. Remember to italicize, Essentials of Clinical Infectious Disease. Full stop. Okay, and then after that, followed by the edition. So leave space here. 2nd edition, ED. And then after that, full stop. Good. Moving on to the publisher. The place. The place. Where is this published? This is published in... Let's check. This is published. So I have to read through. This is published in the United States. Description. Here, New York. It is published in New York by Demos Publishing. All right. So write New York, and then colon, Demos Medical. Now what you need to do is just to follow, this should be a capital D, okay? You don't have to follow exactly like this, okay? Just follow Demos Medical Publishing here. Demos Medical Publishing, full stop, space again, followed by the URL. What's the URL? Here. This is the URL. Okay, so I just have to copy. Full stop. Now some students, when they gain access to a particular book, your computer automatically downloads it, and when you open, there's a C drive here. It saves to your C drive, and you copy the one with the C drive into your link. I cannot access your C drive, so if you put your link here as a C drive, please check first. All right, the link must be a workable link. All right, moving on. Next, we move on to the next one that we usually use is government report. Now, government report, by default, it's published by the government, as you can see from the name. Okay, a report, how does a report look like? A report looks like this with a cover, but it's not a book. Usually, a report would have the name report, or sometimes the report would have what we call forward. Books also have forward, okay? Forward, and there's this executive summary. A report will have this executive summary. It looks very similar to a book, but they have this executive summary. For books, there's no executive summary. Okay, so you must understand this. Okay, same thing. Author surname, first name, or government department name, organization, full stop, year, title, report number, place of publication, publisher URL. Okay, so this is the same thing. Who is the publishing department, the year, the title, and so on and so forth. Okay, so now let's look at this. Who published this? This is published by the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Change. So you have to write Ministry of of Environment, comma, Forest, Change, and Climate Change. Okay, then full stop. There's no short form, so just leave it. Full stop. After full stop, we have the year. What is the year? June 2018. So 2018, full stop. After that, we have the title of the report. What's the title of the report? Strengthening Forest Fire Management in India. Again, italicized, strengthening. Leave space here. Strengthening forest fire management in India. Full stop. Okay, remember to capitalize each word. Capitalize each word is very, very important. Okay, full stop. And then report number. Is there a report number? Okay, not necessarily every report has a report number, so we just leave it. Place of publication. Place of publication. Okay, let me check. Place of publication. Okay, there's no place of publication, so you just look on your own. Okay, just look on your own, and then after that, then the publisher, then the URL. Okay, everything is deleted right now, but you understand what I'm saying. Okay, you understand what I'm saying. Okay, so that's about it for our source of articles that we usually use. We usually have the journal articles, we have newspaper or magazine articles, we have website articles, we have books, we also have government report. So these are the few types of articles that we use in your in finding information or finding evidences for your essay. Remember, we're using Chicago 17th B edition. All right, so that is how it can be useful to you. Okay, thank you very much. If you have any questions, remember to ask us. That's all.